we have made our way to number 7 in my soap opera rankings, and we are going to yet a new country. This time, New Zealand clocks in with their soap opera, Shortland Street. This is another case that it could be higher if I had a bigger history with the soap opera than I do, although it's kind of the fault of the show itself as to why it's kind of hard to follow along for so many years. My history with Shortland Street is several years ago, I watched episodes on YouTube from the mid and late 2000s. I watched like 4 years worth of episodes on YouTube. And I actually enjoyed it quite a bit for the most part. Towards the end, I think I was getting sick of it, and that's why I ended up stopping. So that is the only extent of my history with Shortland Street, where those basically 4-ish years that I watched between like 2006 and 2010 or something like that. I don't know. But I did enjoy that. And honestly, watching Shortland Street again for the first time since then, here in 2021, I enjoyed it for the most part. I just didn't know anybody. There's two characters that I recognize from the mid to late 2000s, one of which is Chris, because I'm pretty sure Chris has been on Shortland Street since like the beginning or towards the beginning. So he's the mainstay character of the show. The other one is TK, who I believe started on the show when I was watching those episodes in the mid 2000s. So yeah, other than those two characters, it's a whole lot of new faces, which is different than a lot of these other soap operas in the world that go on for decades, is that there's usually some familiar faces to pick back up on. In this case, that was not the case, so I had to relearn new characters. And Shortland Street has always gone at a very quick pace, especially compared to other soap operas. The pace on Shortland Street is basically outmatched. They just soar through their episodes and their stories. I mean, they soar through their stories on their episodes, like they just don't have a lot of long term storylines like other soap operas I'm covering in these rankings. So some of the things that stood out, and this is why I couldn't put Shortland Street higher than 7. I think 7 is a good spot for now. As I learn more of the characters, I think it will. There's a good shot that Shortland Street gets higher in the rankings. But I don't even know a lot of characters' names yet. I've only been watching for like 4 weeks, so still learning the characters, and it's hasn't been easy to learn their names, if I'm being honest. One of the characters that stood out that I enjoyed was Madonna. We got to see her. I mean, probably because her name stands out. It's fucking Madonna. We got to see her kind of, try to fight her primal urges to fuck in the hospital. And we also saw her later get into it with her boss at the hospital. So she's a very intriguing, fiery character who I think I will like a lot. Another woman character that stood out was, I believe her name is Samira, and I liked her a lot as well. I can't understand her character yet. I don't know if she's supposed to be a vixen or if she just brings out jealousy in other women, because there just seems to be a lot of jealousy where that character is concerned, but I enjoyed her. She was also entertaining. Some of the main storylines that I did enjoy, or that I at least got into because I knew the characters, or at least knew their names. Chris was one of them, who was falling for a woman who I believe her name is Viv, and she was with another guy. However, she ended up marrying the other guy named Liam, I believe. So we got that little love triangle type situation that I kind of look forward to see where it's going because it's Chris. And since I haven't watched Shortland Street in so long, I don't know if the character of Chris is played out, seeing as he is the like only mainstay for so long, since like towards the beginning of the show, you would think he would be. We had this character of Tom, who is getting with the character of Tessa and falling in love with her, but then quickly some other character from his past named Ange, I believe, comes back saying she's carrying his baby. And this storyline seemed to move super fast. which I didn't hate, honestly. I didn't hate that it moved so fast. It did seem a little like Whiplash that Tom was falling for Tessa and then I was already in love with Tessa, but whatever. So yeah, towards the end of October, we had Ange getting really upset with Tom, ending up going into labor early. The baby seems okay, however, so I think the story we're going to get there is if Tom is really the father of this baby and what that means for him and Tessa. I'm not totally invested in this relationship yet because the story moves so fast, but it was good enough. Lastly, towards the end of the month, we had this character of Talia, I believe, who like kidnapped her kid or someone's kid, but wasn't really sure on the actual bloodlines of this kid. But that seemed to be the main storyline this past week on Shortland Street that I watched the last week of October. All in all, I do enjoy the show, but like I said, I'm still learning the characters. So for now, it's at number 7. But I could get used to Shortland Street again. Like I said, I enjoyed those mid to late 2000 episodes I watched. The pace was fast back then too, but that's what kept it interesting compared to other soaps. So we'll see if that stays this way.